心忘れないで
Hi everyone, welcome to Running Otaku. I am the Running Otaku, and this is the special series Boston Marathon SUB-3 Journey, and it is episode 6, Critical Velocity. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before I get started, just a special announcement. I have hit 97 subscribers, and so I think in the next day or two we might get over 100, which would be super cool because, frankly, I don't think I know 100 people. So thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you like what you see. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. You can let me know if there's something specific you'd like me to cover. As you know, I've been focusing this series on my attempt to set a PR, a lifetime best at age 48, which is to go sub 3 hours in the marathon, running Boston on April 15th. And I've got two interesting aspects in my training. One, I'm using a power meter, so I get to share with you what it's like to do power-based training for running. And two, I'm using a really interesting training program called Tinman, and so you get to see a little bit of what I get to go through. So with that, let's get started. So today I ran two different runs. Let's go to the book and see what I did. Let's see here. Oh, yes. The AM run was on Leif Erikson, which is a nice forest trail here in Portland. It was a 2-hour run, exactly 15 miles, which is 24 kilometers. And that, in terms of pace, works out to be 8 minutes, 2 seconds per mile, or 5 minutes even per kilometer. So nothing too crazy. And in fact, if you look at the wattage here, the average watts was 225, which is in a pretty easy to moderate range for me. So just a great, easy workout. I felt strong the whole way through. And then this evening, I had 15 minutes. 1.8 miles, 3 kilometers. And the pacing you can see here, 8:20 per mile or 5:11 a kilometer. I don't think the second run of the day has a lot of aerobic benefit. I mean, it's only 15 minutes. But there were two nice things. One, it really helps flush out the legs. After my early morning run where I did 2 hours, I feel really great now. And two, I brought my dog Harry with me on the run. He's up to 15 minutes now, so I'm training him as well. I don't think he'll be with me in the marathon, but let's see how good of an athlete he is. I think I'll show a quick video of him now. You can see he's a year and a half old, a golden doodle. He's 75% poodle and 25% golden retriever. We love him, so he's great and a pretty good running companion. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a closer look at my run in Stride, the app. I'm using my iPad here, but of course this is really meant for smartphones. You could also go onto the website and look at it as well. But first thing I want to show you is, actually let's start first with elevation. So this run was similar to the long run I did last week, where basically for the first hour, it was a steady uphill climb, about 300 meters, or maybe a little less than 1,000 feet. And then the halfway point, turned around and came back. So that means I went back down 300 meters or 1,000 feet. So up and down. But as you can see here, the power was pretty consistent all the way through, which is exactly what I wanted to do here. So even though I was going up and down hills, I was able to successfully use the power meter to keep my wattage in roughly kind of 220 to 230 range, which for me, again, is a fairly easy effort. So if we look at the pace here, the pace was a little bit slower going up the hill, and then coming down the hill, the pace picked up a little bit. So again, my effort was even, but that means that on the uphills I was a little bit slower, and on the downhills a little bit faster. Then in terms of cadence, pretty even here. So for me, race cadence is probably just over 180, and for a long run I did pretty well here in the upper 170s. So there's a lot of talk about how important cadence is, and do you have to hit that magical 180 steps per minute. Not sure about that. I think naturally I'm closer to 170, but I do try and hit 180 or so when I'm racing. It just feels like kind of spinning a little bit of an easier gear in cycling, or maybe it's more efficient, maybe it's not, I don't know. Heart rate, yeah, this is the Apple Watch. It it actually did not record any heart rate really for the first 10 minutes. And then in the middle here, I took a short stop because my running buddy needed a bio break. And the heart rate monitor just stopped for those 10 minutes and then picked up again. So one of the many reasons why I'm no longer training with heart rate. I look at it in the post-run analysis from time to time, and I can see the heart rate here. It was a little bit high, but nothing too extreme for me. I tend to have a high heart rate. And then leg spring stiffness, which is pretty interesting, but a whole separate topic for another episode. Okay, so for the weekend review, as you can see, I ran every day this week. You can see the hours I ran and the mileage. So in total, I did, looks like 7 hours and 19 minutes or so, almost 53 miles. And I've seen that my training plan, it's right now I'm at 7 hours, 15 minutes. Again, my marathon's the middle of April, so I peak miles probably the beginning to middle of March. And I believe I'm hitting, at that time, I hit right about 9 hours for the week. So it's probably another, I don't know, what is that, around 20-25% more than what I'm doing now, which I know I'm well capable of because I've been running kind of that kind of distance actually up until a few weeks ago before I started this training plan. So not a ton of miles, but a lot of quality stuff. Particularly, let me see, I ran this workout here. This was an interesting one, 10 by 1 minutes at my 3K race effort, with a 30-second jog in between, and then 5 by 30 seconds hill repeats, 5 by 20 seconds at 800-meter effort, which was quite challenging. Altogether, it was supposed to be a 70-minute run. I think I probably went long on that. What did I do? 70. Oh no, I did way long. I did 18 minutes too long because I kind of got lost. I was in Vancouver, which was really, really nice. But it took me a while to find a hill, and then I did, and then I ran 18 minutes too long. So for the week coming up, I've got 2 quality workouts like normal. The first one is, oh wow, for Christmas, he's giving me a 3-mile threshold run. So, right, 5K continuous effort. And threshold, as you can see here, is about 5K pace plus 25 to 30 seconds. And then also in that run, I'm 4 by 50 seconds at a 3K effort. And then a bunch of easy running for that adds up to 70 miles. And then I've got one more quality workout. So 5 by 3 minutes at CV, which is critical velocity. And I'll get to that in just a minute because that's the title of this episode. And some other hill repeats at 30 seconds and then 15 seconds on the flat. And then again looks like on Sunday, another 2-hour run and a 15-hour second run for the day. So I want to talk a little bit about training paces in this Tinman program. What's so interesting about this is there's very little training that's done at marathon pace, which runs counter to a lot of other popular training programs, at least here in the US, where you might have a long run one day a week of, let's say, 2.5 hours, and half of that run could be dedicated to running at your marathon goal race pace. With the Tinman, doing a lot of stuff that's much faster than that and very little at marathon pace. Again, to kind of set the context, my stats, so you can see where I'm coming from in these pacing is, so last week I ran a 5K at 18:27. And if you're curious about my power numbers being kind of low, it's because I'm only 5'7", which is 170 centimeters. And that's 139 pounds or 63 kilograms. And I'm 48. So I'm pretty light, so that's why my numbers might look low for those of you that are also training with power. And again, my goal marathon is to run SUB-3 actually, so 2:59:59 or better at Boston, which translates into a 6:52 per mile pace or 4:16 per kilometer. And right now, that's equivalent for me of about 252 watts. But what I'm hoping is as I get to be a better runner, not necessarily lighter, but better with more power, more efficiency, I'm hoping I can run at that goal marathon pace at lower wattage. And that's the whole key here. But anyways, onto the training types. So these are a lot of the kind of faster than marathon pace training I do. Everything outside of here is really pretty much just done at easy effort. But anyways, just to give you an idea of what these are. So the first one is the threshold, which is roughly equivalent to my 5K race pace plus 25 to 30 seconds per mile. So, maybe 20 seconds or so per kilometer slower than 5K race pace. The critical velocity is the big one. Here, let's see if I can I hide this? Yeah, this one. So the critical velocity is a pace that I can hold for roughly 30 minutes. For those of you who come from a cycling background, you might be familiar with the term FTP, or functional threshold pace, which is basically the fastest even effort you can maintain for 1 hour. So the critical velocity is similar in concept, but only 30 minutes instead of an hour. And this is pretty fast, right? So if my 5K race pace at 18:27 came out to be something like, it was around, 5 minutes and 55 seconds a mile, something like that. So this is only 10 or 15 seconds slower than that. So quite intense, the typical 5K plus just a few seconds. And I do probably 15 to 20 minutes a week at that kind of pace. And I think that's going to help, at least as I understand the theory, with developing my fast twitch muscles. And it's also going to help with my form, because I can already feel it now with all these other paces that are faster, lower on the chart. Doing 5, 10, 20, 30 seconds on flat or on hills. I'm really working on keeping my arms closer to my center of gravity, because I have a tendency to swing kind of low and it's a little bit sloppy. And increase my knee drive, lift my knees up, extend the back of my stride, my kick, almost kicking my butt, kick my own butt at fast paces. And I'm pretty much a heel striker at marathon pace or slower, but when I'm doing these faster paces, I'm running kind of midfoot or maybe even on my forefoot. So I think all of these are helping my my form little by little, and working on the skill aspect, if you will, of running. Okay, so that's it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think for the next episode, I'm going to do something special. I'm going to review the running goals I had for 2018 and share with you my goals for 2019. And I'd love to hear from you as well. What were your goals for this year, and did you achieve them? And in reviewing those, have you set your goals for next year? If so, what are they? Let us know. I think we can get a pretty interesting discussion going with that. And one last thing before I sign off. So it's almost Christmas. So if you're watching this beforehand, Merry Christmas. If you're watching it past the 25th, well, hope you enjoyed your Christmas or your Hanukkah or I suppose Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. I'm not sure when you're watching this. But anyways, it's towards the end of the year. So it's a great time to be with family and friends. And I hope you get to do that yourself. So that's it for this week. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. If you really like what you saw, then click the picture of me here or here. I'm not sure. I'm disoriented on the screen. Anyways, click me and then click the subscribe button. And let's get over 100 subs and set our new goal at 1,000. So that's it. We'll see you all next time, okay? Bye-bye.